Man, I thought I had to work hard for my fish. I just saw an eagle swim a fish to shore. It was making huge splashes and I couldn't figure out what it was. But he just made it to shore now. He's right in there. He's got this enormous 10-pound salmon. Pulled him into the water. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the wind's starting to lay down out there. Tide should be ripping out now. So I think that headland up there is the turnout for this inlet. It'll take me over to Shipwreck Point, Mabel Bay. It's gonna be a long day. I gotta pull it together. Trying to find my stride this morning. Doesn't seem to be easy to find. That point there would be this point here. So here's Shipwreck. So I came from in here, rounded between this island, cut around that point, and now I'm over here. That little island there must be the one in front of me. So I'm basically gonna have to sneak my way around the point. Once the tide changes, then I can ride it. But the wind's not bad out here. The thing that's concerning is it's pretty hazy and there's a ring around the sun, which usually means storm in a couple days. First boat I've seen for 9 days. But I can't catch up to that boat. He just keeps moving away from me, strolling zigzag pattern, but a couple knots. Just going the wrong way. And I want to go this way. Up the channel, I like to get a weather report. But I can't chase that guy across the ocean to get it. So I'm not getting a weather report on the weather band at all, and I'm not getting any weather information from the CBC radio. I think my best shot is just to push on to Mabel Bay. It's going to be a long afternoon. This is one long day in the saddle. It's a perfect example why Alaska is so difficult to kayak in. It's probably been 15 miles now since I've seen a decent landing. It's just all rock in there. I don't know if I can get in there. It's just sheer rock, pretty much. You're not going to land on that. I am heading around that point and look for a sandy shore there after too many miles in the boat. I think maybe I'll try for someplace along there. There's definitely some streams in there. And that's a pretty big 1,300 foot peak. A lot of big 1,400, 1,443. There's a lot of big peaks that rim that. So there's got to be some water in there. I'm down to my last liter. So first things first, I got to get around this point somewhere and find that bay with the big peaks around it so I can get some water. Look at that. Fresh. This garden up here, this woman let me in and she gave me all these vegetables. Got carrots, got chives, and I got parsley. I'm just stuffing my face with fresh green vegetables. I haven't seen any fresh green vegetables in almost 2 weeks. And she's gonna give me a little bit of water so I can move on and camp wherever I need to. I'm in heaven. Oh, there's magic light. Magic evening. All's well that ends well, huh? Wow. This is spectacular. Looking around, it's this glassy little cloud cover. Should be a spectacular sunset. I've got produce on the back of my boat. I've got lettuce and chives and parsley, which are just like gold for me right now. I've got information. I won't show the homestead of the people that I just stopped and talked to out of privacy for them, but just typical Alaskan salt of the earth people. Just anything you need. Information. They tanked up my water supply, even though they have to bucket the water from a stream from miles away. They gave me vegetables from the yard. All I could give them was a little pack of the fish I smoked up yesterday. But just fantastic people. They let me connect to their Wi-Fi signal, and I was able to text my family, let them know that I'm all right. Just typical, absolutely typical of what I experience up here in Alaska. So I'm heading up the coast to a little campsite they told me about. It should take me about another hour. Well, his information was spot on. I was told about this island from the homesteaders. I'm running out of daylight. There's the Alaskan sunset. Twilight. It'll still stay light for another hour. Some high clouds moving in. There's kind of a hazy look to it. The possibility of some showers happening on the next couple days. Should be pretty nice tomorrow with light winds though. And no big storms moving in, so I could get lucky. Fingers crossed. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Big cedar grove. Be a nice pad underneath there. Steep beach, so I don't have to drag so far in the morning. 5 a.m. July 7th. This is day 12. Here's that camp I pulled into last night. Absolutely perfect camp. In a cedar grove, I've got this moss that's just insanely soft. So I slept lights out. I need to get an early start today. I want to get some good water, and there's a spring that I've been told about a couple miles out of my route, but I'm going to have to head there and load up this morning. I realize that so far on this trip I've been able to avoid a lot of big drags by just the timing of the tide. But this time I'm going to have to drag down this beach. This isn't as bad. The basic principle of the log roll is about 4 decent sticks, usually pretty straight. They don't have to be, but I put one up, one there, one there, one there, and I just slide it along. I usually slide it up on 2 sticks, then go get those 2, put them to the front, all the way down the beach. So it's really difficult on a sea kayak that hasn't been reinforced. Mine's got 7 or 8 layers of extra fiberglass on the keel, probably 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch thick, and then a lot of extra fiberglass along the belly of the boat, and then of course layers of gel coat. Gel coat just protects the fiberglass, doesn't give it any structural strength, but without those kind of reinforcements, the first time I did this, first year I came here in 2012 and started pulling up and down these beaches, even with doing this log routine, I ended up tearing several big holes in the bottom of the boat, and the boat was leaking at the rate of about 1 gallon an hour by the time I finished the trip. That's when I went home and started fiberglassing, reinforcing, and figuring out the weak points of the boat. Final step, I put the logs there ready to roll it into the water, because it's heavily loaded now, of course. So I just pick up the back end and shove it down the logs into the water. I love that I've got a produce section in the back basket of my kayak. That was so good. I had some lettuce last night with some quinoa and salmon. Oh, fantastic. Alright, I'm trying to find that spring back in this bay. I think that's it over there, where this canyon comes down from the mountain. Looks like there's some runoff on the beach there. Sometimes the water doesn't flow all the way to the beach, but then that lighter green algae right down there on the shoreline is a giveaway, because it needs a fresh water source. Nope, no water up there, so it looks like it flows pretty good during a storm, but nothing right now. But I think I'm going to spend some more time trying to find the spring that they're talking about. It makes sense that it would be at the bottom of a canyon. Just have to keep working because I'm down to my last quart of water. This one looks a lot more promising. And it doesn't seem like it's the spring that she was talking about. The information that I had was stair steps leading up to it and an orange ribbon marking it. There's one more creek up here, 100 yards I want to check out. Yeah, now I can see it. Darker area, the lighter green grass. This must be the water supply. It's pretty dry this side of the island. I've spent the first 3 hours of the day paddling around looking for a river, and I finally found this one. A little help. I'm not sure it's the spring that the folks I met yesterday told me about, but it's fresh water. And I need fresh water in a bad way, because I need to make sure that I have 2 or 3 days worth of water supply going into the area that I'm heading to, or I will be in trouble, because along with food, water is probably even more important. Well, I pumped all my fresh water up there, so I've got my 2 1-liter containers, one behind the seat, one there. For fresh water, I've got my 96-ounce bag of water, and I've got this 10-liter bag all full of water. That's not pumped yet, not filtered, but I can do it later. So I'll put that on the outside of the boat in case it leaks. It's not going to get everything else wet. But I'm just repacking the boat now. The tide's coming up, so the tide would push me up that arm that I need to go up. So I'm going to do some more cleaning up, clean some dishes, and did some laundry, washing things as much as possible. Take advantage of this nice clean water while I have it. Looks like the rain might hold off till this evening, I hope.